officers stormed his home, firing off more than 70 rounds while his wife and child hid in his closet. His family is outraged, now demanding answers into what happened and what led to his death. Bill Gavin, former chief executive for the FBI in New York, Miami, and Denver, and also the president of the Gavin Group. And also in our discussion today, Chip Merlin. He is an attorney in Florida. Gentlemen, welcome to you both.
Good afternoon.
All right, I want to set the stage a little bit more. People saw in the video there are obviously police sirens going. They are stopped at one point. We're told by the Sheriff's Department in the investigation into this that there were warnings given at the door in English and in Spanish saying, you know, this is the police, we're coming in. They eventually broke down that door. They also continue to say that Jose Garena, the man who was killed, was pointing an AR-15 gun at them. He did not fire. Apparently, that's been turned up in this investigation. So, Bill, I got to ask you, with your law enforcement background, was the SWAT team in any way justified by what happened after that?
Well, Shannon, I look at a couple of things here. Number one, the movie does not show what occurred inside that house after they popped the door, and that has a lot to do with what happened. The second thing is that if forensics shows that he was shot over 60 times, I can see how that happened too. When they breached that door, and one of their individuals, one of the SWAT team members, I believe, fell down, tripped, went down on his knee to a shooting position, whatever it was, that triggered the adrenaline to flow, and they all started firing at the same time. It was tragic. I mean, 60 shots, if in fact this individual took 60 shots, that is excessive. And we'll have to see. There's not enough facts known at this time with all of the particular individual facts to make a conclusion as to who did what.
All right, and Chip, the family, how do they move forward? How do they get answers and some kind of relief? It's not going to bring this gentleman back.
Well, no action is going to bring it back, but there's going to be an internal investigation that's already started with the police. They separated each of the officers at the scene. There were statements taken by the officers. The family will actually rely upon a lot of the evidence that's obtained from the police because they go through their first investigation with the officers. What happened inside is extraordinarily important. Police in this country can use force. They legally can do so. The question of whether or not it's excessive has got to be answered. In fact, we really don't know right now.
Yeah, and Bill, let me ask you, I mean, we talked about the fact that an AR-15, and maybe one of you gentlemen can explain if you know more about what kind of firearm that is. If you walk through that door or break through that door and there is someone pointing that gun at the officers as they're coming in, how do you defuse that situation? Would it be legally accessible for those SWAT team members to fire if indeed that gun was pointed at them if they went in? Bill, I'll start with you.
Shannon, it's a long-barrel weapon used by the military, and if, in fact, the officers break down that door and look, and he is pointing that weapon on them, that is no time for them to try to decide it's a safety on, it's a safety off. That is a move that's indicative that he is going to shoot them, and they have to react first. It's a very difficult position for a police officer to be put in, but they have to make that decision on scene at the time.
And given those circumstances that unless we've served in law enforcement or in the military, we probably never understand that split-second decision that happens there. Chip, what kind of liability could those officers or could the Sheriff's Department be facing now?
No, there are civil lawsuits that are brought regarding this all the time, and there will be a discussion about whether or not the occupant was given enough time to actually answer the door. There's this knock rule. You got to announce that you're there, what you're there for, that you are the police, just in situations like this where you might be waking somebody up from sleep. Because if you get woken up from sleep and you happen to have a firearm there and somebody's breaking through your door, you legally have a right to defend yourself. That person needs to have a warning to know that it is the police and not some type of intruder, just so you don't have these situations happen if indeed the person was innocent.
And it appears that, at least in some accounts, that is what the wife, who is the survivor here and had a 4-year-old child with her, says that at some point they believe was happening. There's some kind of possible home invasion. Bill, are there any lessons that we can take away from this situation?
I think, Shannon, one of the biggest lessons is the danger that police officers and potential subjects are involved in a situation like this. It's just a horrible decision for the law enforcement people to have to make. They made it. but it's never an easy thing for them to do. Carrying away some sort of a conclusion, I don't know, you'd have to have some more facts to see how long they waited prior to announcement. I saw that they had the siren go off, they made an announcement, they took a while before they knocked that door down, so I just don't know how much time elapsed before he got out of bed and came to with a weapon in his hand, no matter what kind of weapon it was.
All right. Well, we will continue, of course, to learn more about this case and share that with the viewers, and we thank you both for weighing in.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, GOP hopeful